You finish breakfast. 20 minutes later, you're already thinking about food again. You eat a full lunch, and by mid-afternoon, you're in the snack drawer. Dinner's done, the plate is clean, and an hour later, you're back in the kitchen looking for something else. If you feel hungry again almost right after you eat, no matter which meal it is, let me say this clearly. You are not greedy, and you do not lack willpower. Something is missing from your meals. And it's the one thing that's supposed to tell your body, okay, we're full, you can stop now. When it's missing, that signal never fires. So you eat, and 20 minutes later, your body acts like you never ate at all. Today, I'll show you exactly what's missing, why so much of today's food is built to leave it out, the study that proves this isn't in your head, and how to put it back, so you finally feel full after a meal and stay full every single day. Start here, because almost nobody learns it. Your body has a complete, built-in system for telling you when you've had enough. It's not willpower, it's biology. When you eat, your stomach stretches and sends a signal up. Your gut releases hormones, and a hormone called leptin tells your brain, we're good, you can stop. On the other side, a hormone called ghrelin is what makes you feel hungry in the first place. The whole thing is automatic. When it works, you eat a meal, you feel satisfied, and you don't think about food again for hours. So if you're hungry right after breakfast, after lunch, after dinner, every time, the real question isn't, why am I so weak? It's, why isn't my fullness signal firing after I eat? And for most people, the answer isn't a problem with their body. It's what's on the plate, and just as importantly, what's been left off it. Here's a phrase the food industry would rather you never heard. Slider foods. It's a real term. It describes foods that slide right through you without ever making you feel full. Sugary cereal and a pastry at breakfast. A white bread sandwich and chips at lunch. Refined, snacky stuff at dinner. Soft, sweet, easy to eat fast, and somehow gone before you've registered eating them. These are ultra-processed foods, and here's the part that should bother you. They're not unfilling by accident. They're engineered that way. The natural structure of real food, the fiber, the protein, the things your body has to work to break down, has been stripped out and replaced with stuff that absorbs almost instantly. So whether it's morning, noon, or night, you can finish a meal made of these foods and your fullness signal barely registers it. That's not you failing 3 times a day. That's the food doing exactly what it was built to do. If that sounds like a conspiracy theory, here's the study. And it's as solid as nutrition science gets. Scientists at the National Institutes of Health took a group of people and controlled everything. 2 diets, matched on paper for calories, sugar, fat, and salt. The only real difference? One was built from ultra-processed foods. The other from whole foods. Everyone could eat as much or as little as they wanted. The result was striking. On the ultra-processed diet, people ate around 500 extra calories a day, every day, without trying to, and without feeling any fuller than the whole food group. Same hunger, far more food. No awareness of it. They weren't greedy, and they weren't weak. Their fullness signal was simply switched off by the food on their plate, meal after meal. That's the proof this happens to everyone. Now let me show you the exact trick the food uses to pull it off. Here's the mechanism, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Real whole food has structure. An apple, a piece of chicken, a bowl of beans. Your body has to physically break them down, and that takes time. That time is the whole point. It gives your stomach a chance to fill, your gut hormones a chance to release, and leptin a chance to tell your brain you're full before you've eaten too much. Slider foods skip all of it. They've been pre-broken down for you, refined, stripped of fiber. So they don't sit in your stomach, and they take almost no work to digest. They're absorbed the moment they hit you, which means they're gone before your fullness signal even gets a chance to fire. By the time your brain might have said, stop, the food's already through, and you're hungry again. That's why it happens after every meal made this way. The food never gave your body the time or the signal to feel full. There's a second reason the hunger comes back so fast, and it stacks right on top. Most slider foods are refined carbs. They turn into sugar almost immediately. So they spike your blood sugar hard. Your body floods in insulin to bring it down, and it overshoots, dropping you lower than where you started. And a blood sugar crash feels like exactly one thing: hunger. Real, urgent, I need to eat now hunger, an hour after a full meal. So you grab another quick bite to climb back up, spike again, crash again, and it repeats after breakfast, after lunch, after dinner. This is the loop you've been blaming yourself for. It was never discipline. It's a blood sugar roller coaster, and hunger from a crash feels identical to real hunger, so you can't think your way out of it. The fix isn't more willpower. It's getting off the roller coaster, and that comes down to what you put on the plate. One more thing quietly turns the hunger up, and it has nothing to do with the meal itself. It's how you slept. Short on sleep, and those two hunger hormones shift. Ghrelin, the hunger one, goes up. Leptin, the fullness one, goes down. Translated, you wake up hungrier and harder to satisfy, so every meal that day leaves you wanting more. It gets worse. A tired brain craves high sugar, high calorie foods specifically, the exact slider foods that won't fill you anyway. So a bad night doesn't just make you hungrier after meals, it points that hunger at the worst possible food. If you've noticed you snack way more on no sleep and blamed yourself, that wasn't weakness either. That was your hormones rewired overnight. Protect your sleep, and you've turned the volume down on hunger before the day even starts. So let's name exactly what's missing from those meals, because this is the whole fix. Two things: protein and fiber. They're the off switch. They're the structure your body has to work through, the part that slows digestion down and gives your fullness signal the time it needs to fire. And they're precisely what slider foods strip out. So the fix is almost poetic. Just put back what the food took away. Protein is the single most filling thing you can eat. It tells your brain you're satisfied better than anything else on the plate. So anchor every meal with a real protein. Eggs, yogurt, chicken, fish, beans, lentils. And fiber, from vegetables, fruit, whole grains, beans, is what keeps you full for hours instead of minutes. This is the natural fix, and notice it works for any meal: breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Build it around protein and fiber, never refined carbs alone, and your fullness system finally does its job. You feel full, and you stay full. Now the part that actually matters: making this stick, not as a diet, but as your default. Here's how it looks day to day. Breakfast. Lead with protein, eggs, Greek yogurt, instead of cereal or toast alone. Lunch and dinner. Fill half your plate with vegetables for fiber, and always have a real protein next to the carbs, never carbs on their own. Snacks. Reach for protein first. A little protein beats a slider food and genuinely kills the urge. Eat a bit slower so the fullness signal can catch up. And protect your sleep, because that's a hunger lever most people never touch. That's it. No counting, no rules, no diet. Just one habit: protein and fiber at every meal, repeated until it's automatic. Do that, and hungry an hour after eating quietly stops being your normal. One honest note: sometimes constant hunger isn't about food at all. It can signal a thyroid issue, blood sugar problems, certain medications, or other conditions. So if your hunger is extreme, sudden, or comes with other symptoms, don't tough it out. Talk to a doctor. So the next time you're hungry, an hour after a full meal, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, remember it was never a character flaw. Your fullness system works fine. It was just being out-engineered by food built to bypass it, and left without the two things that switch it on. Put protein and fiber back on every plate. Protect your sleep, and the constant hunger stops running your day. I've turned this whole thing into a free one-page guide, The Real Food Fullness Reset, linked below. Go grab it. And here's the next one worth knowing. There's a specific reason you crave sugar at very specific times of day. And it's not a sweet tooth. It's a pattern you can break. That's the next video. Subscribe so it finds you, and I'll see you